photos immediately. What was the photo gallery? First thing. Okay, I suppose I can look now. See what I can see on them. Several of them were like Howie Johnson and Joe Cole. It's fantastic. I don't even think I've got to this first. Well, I don't. This is the cost of not clearing my photo card. I need to get back to the best beginning of what I shot in 2 hours. Right here. Just got to the Noah Jennings Free Flicker Pass. Whatever that was, that's what it was. Oh yeah, no, we're not half. Everyone's on. Team coming out of the tunnel. You could just like read that. It's all the images. This is the recap of the day. I mean, hey, you know, no periods 1 through 7 this time. Unrestricted. Unrestricted. Where McKinney did her halftime recitation thing. Goldie just took a photo with the fish. It is now becoming apparent that it would have been faster to do it the other way. The relay race was
this, in the action. Okay, so you didn't leave, you're the only one. Yeah, the girls that are. This means team that was in town. He didn't realize it was gonna be 2 hours.
Okay. He has lost a lot of weight. Good for him. Wow. Yeah. Taylor, something along there. Sue Nicholson. No, it's up like I said. There will be plenty more. Brooks.
Do you care about spacing out content for?
They do not.
Weaver? A Weaver? He was one of the captains.
Day after when they're posting like the photos of his shot, do you know what post did you do or? So like the photos of like his team, what shoot, do you post like those after game day or after?
That was older guy. Windland Hall Jr.
So they're all gonna go out about 20 for each person. These rooms should have like 80 but right now,
Schreiber.
so they have to upload the next one. Their second
Geyer.
I have to wait till all 4 of them send them to me, and then I put them all one big. They'll have like sort of 1,000 in the finals, but they'll have 100 too.
Taylor.
So those 100 should hold them over for a day or so.
So you go through and pick your best ones and sort those right away and then you go through the ball later?
Yep.
Gotcha, okay.
Keep just your best right now.
Drew Erlinson, that name.
But the right thing is.
Garrett Earl Hillum. He's standing at the top university. Kind of back through.
Yeah, I was wondering, because I would like zoom in and run it by, like
Maybe
it's,
even more
it's
now.
zooming in on this person and saying it's on supposed to speak, that's like the focus on that, but it's not.
Well, I mean, you know, your budget. Then it's Weaver and HB plus one. Wesley Wayne.
Oh, like at the end.
Are you guys buying any more 76?
Looks like somebody.
I didn't choose something. Sure, well, I want to change my mind. I think I want to get the 50 50s. Because not that they have good past,
Levi
but I was thinking, I didn't know what you're going to do.
They don't like coming up there.
And it's just.
So like, you know.
Right. I kind of like, get introduced to it in all this stuff. And then that's when whatever I do for additional students. Upper. I do too. Yeah. But
need some
I said dinner 5, so I'm not 2, I'm 4. No, they'd be graduate.
Yeah, it's,
He seemed good. He's good. Ready to go. Not just plug and play guy. Come in, start. Not that's why.
is any Johnson in there?
No. I would see when the Vikings got.
We got Clayborn, we got Johnson, Jalen Kilmore, is he over there? South Carolina.
We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's not, I'd love to get a couple accounts trying to see how I can bring it up. That might be it. I'm not sure about the Vikes maybe this year. I don't know.
Who do you have the Vikings do?
Yeah. Either.
Coach will be here in a moment. Once coach is done, we'll have Drake Lindsay, Anthony Smith, Carter Mills.
I know, it's.
Vital. They win? Yeah, when he, yeah, he's on the lead. Good, how are you?
Just trying to click. Yep.
That's good, yeah.
I didn't know he told you. Oh, okay.
Did you announce the set or not? That's coming.
You're talking about MVPs?
Yeah.
Yeah, Carter Mills, Zion Steptoe, Noah James.
You definitely did.
I don't know if we did announce it yet, that's what.
Okay.
It's going on about 30 seconds.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't know if that's anybody.
I just checked my gallery.
Bo Stevens. Either guy.
Ask her, see if she calls through.
Thank you for all the knowledge.
All the contradictory knowledge of these people.
I like that. Contradictory.
Well, I said this, that's.
Oh, yeah, don't do that. Don't do it, right?
We'll get in cover.
Especially, you know what, people are gonna dog the position. The thing is,
It was not on.
I don't have a problem with it, cause I think
Oh, the farm aid, that is stuff.
he's gonna change it. The offense is gonna sit right there. Every day guys who where you're like, I'm so ready to this guy.
Get it straight up.
They need to just kind of get it. We need to go back to the hotel and start doing it. Just like Steve Pine. So when you're gonna find out NFL draft even serious.
Yeah, it's a tough one there.
You're like, email back to me, no.
can't put that against that.
I think he might go like the last 10 picks.
So you said nay, when we were talking, you said nay, and you and I didn't, I think I remember why. We have the same take on it, but I would say yay for that reason. Like, I'm a glass half full kind of guy.
Well, I think there's a chance the last 10 picks, for sure. I could see the packaging. 255. It's kind of my predicted spot right now.
You are, I'm not sure. I don't have much choice.
Means he actually can stand. Take 5 seconds.
Justin Jolly.
That's that funny. About 200 recruit photos, which is not too bad for me. So I will do that immediately and get it posted this afternoon. And then I'm probably going to watch the wild game and or play Apex. Also the draft. A lot going on today.
Waiting normal 11.
I suppose if I don't even close, there's actually no reason for me to be here. All right. I am going to get lunch at SDC. I get that sandwich again before it gets taken off the menu.
Szechuan chicken Caesar. Where's that?
Saturday. There's Northeast Minneapolis. Pretty much just right down University. Or 4th Street. Bye.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start when Coach gets to the podium. Start the opening statement.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. You can't ask me questions whether we won or lost. We won. That's good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Go Gophers, right? First of all, I just want to thank Dinkytown athletes for providing an elite experience for our crowd. Other student athletes for different sports competing in different events, which I thought it was really fun, just in between TV timeouts. That was awesome. That was awesome for me. You know, I'm big fans of all of our student athletes as well, and I see them on the court, and I might see them in the hallway here and there, but to be able to go down there and have them on the football field and see Durkin, you know, that was awesome, watching Durkin run around. He's used to, you know, shooting the ball and doing other things with the football, so I thought that was a lot of fun. So thanks to Dinkytown athletes for creating that type of experience. I want to thank our marketing team, our administration. I thought the way that we marketed this game to make it feel like a real game was awesome. It really was. And that the whole point of this spring game is to create an environment that you truly get a live scrimmage in Huntington Bank Stadium that you treat like a game. In our facility, we treated it like a game. It's been 48 hours where the maroon and gold team were completely divided and we're at each other's throats. Coaches, players, I mean, it was hostile in our building, and I loved it. The competition was really, really high, and then they let it rip on the field. I thought that was really, really special for us because we got 36 newcomers. I mean, we got a lot of newcomers who have not played in a game environment. And to go out there and perform, and it helps us in the evaluation process, but it also puts a lot of pressure on them. It's different than doing it in practice. Now they got to go do it under the pressure of the situation, and I thought there were some elite individual performances as well as some team performances. Last thing I want to hit on is I just want to thank all of our alumni coming back. It's impressive. I was sitting with Jacob Huff in my office yesterday because, you know, he's in sales with Rydell. And we were just sitting there talking about equipment and helmet, and it was just amazing to see him come back, be around. And he was a guy that we inherited that we necessarily didn't recruit, but coming back for the game. But T-Time being back, you know, from the Chicago Bears. Ariante Ursary from the Texans. I can go on and on. Max Brosmer from the Vikings. Ty Johnson is still in the National Football League, kicking butt. Sustainability. Ron Johnson. I have to mention Ron because Ron wants me to mention Ron, you know. Casey O'Brien was there, which was really special for us today, having Casey on the sideline, which was awesome. Micah Treadway, Cody Lindenberg from the Raiders, right? Dragan Kesic, which, again, he's the life of everything, and it's tremendous. Blake Cashman from the Vikings is back. Niles Pinckney, Thomas Rush, Josh Awney, Nathan Bowe, Sam Renner, and many, many, many more. That's awesome. That's what the cultural sustainability does when those guys come back. So, Mike Erzbicki and your entire staff, spot on. You did an unbelievable job of creating an atmosphere. Our fans, want to thank them for coming out. Our band, what an environment. And to manage that and get that all done in 2 hours with the TV timeouts, simulating halftime, simulating the beginning of the game, I'm just really proud of our entire staff and our players and our team, as well as our administration, the whole Gopher family. So thank you for allowing me to represent you today. And you guys did an absolutely elite job, so thank you. So with that, we'll open it for questions.
PJ, we saw Noah Jennings throughout spring ball step up. What did you see during spring with him, and then his big catch?
Well, he's smooth. He's a really smooth player. He's got great hands. He's confident. I think when he got here, you know, you start looking at him, you're like, this is a really raw athlete. And this, again, developmental program. You bring him in, you develop him. In 4 months, he has jumped so high in the development process. From his catches to his technique to his fundamentals to the system piece to the separational skills. I just think he's come a long way. And a game like today, right, really helps people for their confidence that they can do it somewhere else. I think it's really difficult for transfers to go into a spot and just think you're going to walk in and perform. That's really difficult. You got to go prove it, earn it, do it yourself for yourself, not just for other people to believe in you too. You've got to do that for yourself. And I thought he's done a tremendous job all spring. He doesn't say a lot, but he works his tail end off. He is unbelievably coachable. He truly is. I mean, when you coach him, you look in you right in the eye. We've got this picture of what being coachable looks like. And it's Michael Jordan on one knee looking right in Dean Smith's eyes. And Dean Smith's looking at him, and he's looking at him, and he's hanging on every word Dean Smith says. That's taking coaching. That's being coachable. Noah does that with everything we do. And I'm really proud of him, because he's made huge strides. Now, we got a big summer. That's going to be really important. And then you got to go out there and produce in the fall. But I think he took the next right step that we want him to be able to do.
Staying in that room, what has impressed you about some of the returners like Smith or Tracy in the leadership elements, but also on the field this spring?
Yeah, I think just the consistency has helped them. Jalen Smith being the MVP of the bowl game really springboarded him into January and February. We had 8 captains, and he was one of them, which is a young player. I think that says a lot. Is he the most vocal guy? No, but he's working on that. But I think that his confidence is growing every single day. I think that room is coming together, and I think Coach Frichty's done an unbelievable job of bringing that room together in a short amount of time and developing the talent that's already there. Javon Tracy makes some unbelievable plays, as you've seen before. He's taking the coaching to a different level. Way more coachable than he's ever been. He's a tremendous athlete. He can create separation. He can play really big, even though he's not the biggest guy. And it's funny because when you're looking at both teams, you're like, man, I'd really like to see them all on the same team. Oh, wait, they are on the same team because you have them on 2 separate teams. Somebody had to win, somebody had to lose today. But I think those two have both taken big steps to become the players they want to be in this winter and spring.
What type of progression have you noticed from Carter Mins just since he got here to now?
It's night and day. I mean, Carter Menz never said a word when he got here. Well, now he says 5 words, right? He talks a little bit more, but the talking's not what we're talking about. It's the development, the weight room. He's stronger, he's faster, he's bigger, his technique and fundamentals. Coach Standard and C.J. Robbins deserve a ton of credit. I mean, our D-line is playing better, harder, faster, with more technique and fundamentals and more discipline than we've ever played with. Ever. And I'm saying that in 10 years. So we just got to keep taking the next right steps. But Carter's relentless. He's a problem because you got Anthony on one side and you have T.J. Bush and you have him on the other side. And I think we've got really good interior guys who are twitched up and long, which I think creates some issues inside. We might not be 330 across the board inside, but they're twitchy, long, strong, tough. And I think that room is really gelling together well. But I think it shows in Carter Menz's play. I thought he really accelerated and finished strong at the end of last year, not in just the productivity, but the fundamentals and technique. And I think he's taken that to a different level. And you could see the confidence building in him with everything that he does. And that room's more confident than I've ever seen it. And our coaches deserve a lot of credit for that, as well as the players.
Parker Knutson, is that what you expected when you recruited him out of Southwest State?
Yeah, I mean, he's a competitor. He works his tail end off. He made a really good play today. That room is pretty deep. But we've got a lot of guys proving themselves every single day. But it was nice to see him make some plays out there today for sure.
Every year about how every team is different. Today was just one practice of 15. What do you think you've learned here this spring about this 2026 team?
This team's tough. This has been the hardest spring we've ever had, hands down. You guys know us. We don't practice longer than 95 minutes. That was not the case this spring. We have 1s, 2s, 3s, and then we have a bunch of young players that I want them to develop now. This isn't like, hey, you're going to be redshirted. We're this whole 5-for-5 rule and all these certain things. Who knows what college football looks like? We're playing them. Develop, get on the field, play. Whether that's kickoff return, punt return. If you're good enough, I'm playing you. Let's go. Let's develop. And I think this team handled the spring ball better than, respectively, than anybody I've ever had. I told guys in there, I said, that was the best spring I've been a part of. And that promises you nothing. But that was the best spring I've ever been a part of because they never, ever came out, not one time, and were like, ugh. And then had to get them going. Not one time in 15 practices. And we only had one day that was a walkthrough. That was this Thursday, was a true walkthrough. Other than that, we practiced. I mean, we tackled, went live a lot of times. Scrimmaged twice, right? Had this. I mean, this was a lot of heavy football, like real football. And I thought our guys handled it very well, and we got better. The only way we were going to get better is if we had that type of spring ball. Every team's different. This team needed that, and we chose wisely on that because they responded in all the right ways.
BJ, is there a position group, a phase of the game, a category that you need to see improvement before fall camp?
All of them. Andy, I think that's a really good question of what areas we need improvement on, but all of them. I'm excited about every position. I really am. And I know it's a generic answer, but there's not one that I'm sitting there going, gosh, I don't know about this. Now, I'm excited to get some guys back who might have had off-season cleanups, and they'll be back here in the next few weeks so they can get part of our summer program. But I'm really excited to put those guys in there. Just remember how many guys didn't play today that are guys for us, that are dudes, that are all Big Ten players. And I thought you go out there and we look like a pretty good football team with that roster, let alone add all the Big Ten players that we have, all Big Ten and starters and guys who had cleanups. But I do think as you keep going that the specialists are going to be, that's going to be a big position for us. So I gave you one because I think that's going to be critical. I thought they both performed very well today. Didn't have a lot of field goals. I'm not sure why Danny Collins is up here explaining why he went for it on 4th and 4 down 10-0. I don't know, Andy. I got to answer those questions. Don't let them off the hook. All of you. I want that to be the headline tomorrow. Got it, Burns? Yeah. Did we tweet out the question into the call, Andy? We didn't? Randy? Gosh. I gave him the ability to be head coaches, guys, to be the head coach. They need to take the tweets. There's still time.
BJ, how'd you feel about your quarterback room today? Drake, and then got a lot of time.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Drake had 2 drives. I thought he did what Drake does. I think Drake has really improved in the command of the offense, the mastery of the offense, making other people around him better. He's got to continue to improve, though. You can never be accurate enough. You can never have too much leadership. You can never be too vocal. And I think he's just got to continue to develop in those areas. And I think when you have an elite quarterback, when they step foot on the field, everybody knows they're going to play better because he's in the huddle. They already know that, because I'm going to be better just because he's there. And I think that's where that next step is going to be for him, and he's on his way doing that. But I did like our quarterback room. I thought Mike went in there and did a really nice job. I thought Brady, for some plays, did a really good job. I know he's disappointed because of the interceptions, but that happens. I mean, there's some guys making some interception. There was a guy on the other side making a really good play, too. I think Owen Lance, who went in there and made some big-time plays. I mean, we have two true freshmen out there getting live reps, right? And it's those are the guys in there playing meaningful snaps in the second half to go win games. So it was a lot of fun to be able to watch those guys. Max Shigajansky did a great job going in there, and he's had a really solid spring. But I really like when I looked at across the board, we gave the offensive MVP to Noah and Zion. And when you look at those two guys on the offense side, those are both newcomers for us. And that was what today was for. They went out there and performed really well. And if 84 doesn't get the ball popped out and they don't get a sack on that play, he might be the overall MVP as a true freshman. Because I think he's got a chance to be really, really special, 84. I thought another 84 that we used to coach was pretty good too. So it's, a long time ago. But the 84 piece, I thought he did a really good job. But 84, 13, 25, I thought they did a really good job. And 11, when you look at they did what they're supposed to do out there at wideout. And it's credit to Coach Frichte and those guys, but I thought they had a heck of a day.
Any more for Coach?
What else you got? Nothing?
When it comes to linebackers, we saw some splash plays for them. You like the depth there? Who's kind of solidified this spot?
Yeah, we didn't play Maverick today, as you saw. Kingsbury played a little bit in the first half. And then, what we're doing is we got to be able to find out, between all the rest of them, who's going to be the guys that really rotate. But I thought Carmo had a really good spring. Mason Carrier, I thought he played real well. Ethan had a really good spring. I thought Nate did a tremendous job. I mean, even today, I thought he was exceptional. He was in the running for possibly the defensive MVP. But that went to Carter Menz. So the Sid Hartman MVPs, I had explained to all of them who Sid Hartman was, and that's some of them remembered Sid that when they were here years ago. But I really liked being able to tell them who Sid Hartman was and the type of person he was and type of reporter he was and owner, and you can go on and on about everything that he's ever done. But we'll always have that trophy named after him.
PJ, there's a proposal with Coaches Association about adding 6 dates to spring to be more like a OTA type situation. Is that something that
I'm 100% for it. I'm 100% for, even if you limit spring practice to, let's say, 9 to 10 practices, and then you get 6 more. I'm just giving you an example. You get 6 more. You do 3 in June and 3 in July, like a mini camp OTA. I just think the way spring ball was designed, I hit for 15. They call it hit for 15. We got a T-shirt at Northern Illinois. If you made it through all 15 practices, you practiced. And that T-shirt was so valuable. I mean, we're talking 20 plus years ago. No one was getting paid, right? You didn't even have a meal. And so that T-shirt, I'm getting. And then you got a T-shirt, and it was a 4X, right? Because it was like one size fits all. But that T-shirt was so important. But we never got the work that we got in the winter. Our coaches didn't work with us in the winter like we work with our players now. We never got be able to work with them in June, our coaches in June and July. Now we work with them in June and July. So why have the 15 practices in the spring? We just keep adding to it instead of saying, okay, well, this makes sense now. So I think there's a lot of things that are out there, Randy, that have all these examples, but I'm for about 9, 10 practices in the spring, for however you want to use them, right? Even the acclimation days. Like, I get the acclimation days for the safety part, but the acclimation days, we've been acclimating January, February, and March. We're acclimated. You used to have to acclimate everybody because they didn't do anything football, right? And so looking at all of that, I think, makes a lot of sense. And again, I'm not saying we're doing anything wrong. I just think every coach is like, listen, we've got to redesign this thing because we just keep stuffing more in and saying, why doesn't the calendar work? Well, let's just redesign all of it. And I'm a big advocate, like I said, 9 to 10 in the spring. And you get just like these NFL teams you just drafted, you got mini camp coming up, do a 3-day mini camp where you can have helmets and pads Limit how many times you can tackle. I'm fine with that. And then do it in July. You know, I'm good with that. Now, I get class and what people are there, people are not there. We're dealing with universities. We're not dealing with, we're trimesters and quarters and semesters. I get that. But when we're talking about college football as a whole, that would be great to see.
Any more for Coach?
Do you see any similarities in the style of runner Ford brings to the running back room at all with Darius Taylor? I just feel like there were moments out there I was like, is that 9 or is that 1? Like in the very beginning, the way he was running the ball.
Yeah, he's a big back. He did a really good job of helping us last year on that scout team, and he got beat up on that scout team. And you get hard. I mean, remember, Muhammad Ibrahim was a scout team player of the year before. And it's so funny because when you watch Xavier and Grant Washington and Zeke Bates, they're young players. And sometimes they look at Muhammad, and he's the greatest rusher maybe ever to live here or ever to run here, statistically for sure, and arguably the top 2 running back ever to play here. So they think that he's kind of Superman. And then there's always clips that I'll bring them back to, and I'll be like, look, Xavier tripped over his own feet. Who does that remind you of? Oh, there's a practice clip of Muhammad Ibrahim tripping over his own feet. Watch this, guys. So it makes it more human because you have to realize you're not going to be a senior today. You won't be the all-time leading rusher today. There's a process to that. Your position coach is the greatest running back ever to play here. And he tripped over his own feet in this practice and in this game. And you know what? He was on the scout team his first year, right? And he was a scout team MVP. There's a process to it. But when I watch Xavier, he's an unbelievable human being first and foremost. Very coachable, but he's really, really tough. He's got some things he's got to continue to get better at and grow it. Same thing with Zeke Bates. He got banged up a little bit during the middle of spring ball, which was unfortunate because he was having a great spring. As good as Xavier was as well as Grant Washington. We have a really good young stable backs in there, and then you get Darius, you get AJ in there. We're still bringing in some freshmen, which is going to be really, really exciting. Ryan Estrada, he'll be here soon. So you got Jerron. I mean, you got a lot of people. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see how this thing develops. But it's an exciting time because you really value the work that they just put in and how hard that was and what they just accomplished. You give them credit. We get some time here. They got finals coming up, which now they shift their focus to the academic final piece and go finish strong academically. Then they get away here from 3 weeks and really go decompress, get away. Coaches go out recruiting. We go to all these different meetings, and then we reconvene for the summer workouts. So it should be a lot of fun.
On average, how much longer were the practices?
I would probably say about 30 minutes. Because, again, it's not we're doing more with the 1s and 2s. You just got more 3s and 4s that you want to keep getting them out there. So as you're going, okay, it's not just 1s and 2s, 1s and 2s, 1s and 2s, boom. You got almost double that. So it's about 40 more minutes, right around there on average probably per practice, which a little over 2 hours every single time we were out there, which worked about right.
All right, everyone all set?
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here. Row the boat, Sky Ma, go Gophers. See you in the summer. Thanks, everybody.
Starts to games, and obviously you guys had a strong start to this one. What was key for that one, and obviously the big pass to Noah there?
Yeah, I think coming out locked in, attention to detail is a big thing. Not starting slow is huge. Starting fast every single game, every single rep, if it's in the weight room, whatever it is very crucial. And Coach Flex made that a big emphasis. So whether defense going out there or offense going out there first, we got to start fast. And we did a great job of that today. And then O-line had a great protection. Noah ran a great route. Great finish on the catch as well.
Carter, we saw the light come on for you starting in October last year and then carry on through the bowl game. What do you think switched for you starting in conference play?
I apologize for my voice too. It's a little shy right now, but I think, it really clicked for me, after probably the Cal game. It's kind of when the game just slowed down a little bit. I feel like it was, because I hadn't played much before that, it was really it was a mindset thing for me. I feel like it clicked then. It slowed down for me.
Your coaches have talked about trying to get the Carterman's dark side
Yeah.
to come out. What does that mean, and how do you try to get that to play on the field?
Yeah, that Coach DC talks about that a lot. It's like, kind of flipping the switch between the player you are off the field and on the field. Kind of turning the dark side on once you get on the field.
Drake, what have you? Oh, go ahead.
Drake, what have you noticed just working with Noah Jennings this spring and how he's fit into the offense?
Yeah, I think with Noah, what's so great about him is it just comes so easy and natural to him. The first route that he ever ran here, I remember I didn't throw to him, and I watched him run the route, and then after that rep, I was like, all right, I'm going to throw to him every single rep, just to build that chemistry. And you can kind of tell from the get-go, which guys are going to be really good, and they obviously got to prove it. But he's electric, his speed, his route running, contested catching, everything's just really, really, really good. So I'm obviously grateful to have him on our side, and excited to see what we can do.
Anthony and Carter, you both have worked with him all spring, but what have you seen from TJ Bush this spring and throughout the entire time that you've been able to work with him?
Yeah, he's an ultra competitive guy. Every single rep that we're doing in the weight room or on the field, whether that's indie or in the pass rush, like actual team, he's super competitive. He's always the first to say I beat to it, or again, he's just super ultra competitive, and he's really glad that he's on our side of the ball. Yeah, I think outside of football, I think he's a really great guy. He's helped connect the rush room better, and then inside of football, I think he's a really good pass rusher. I think he moves very well, and he can stop the run too.
Drake, what did the other quarterbacks in the room show you today?
Yeah, I think Schick, Owen, and Mike, and as well as Brady, there's a lot of learning lessons. Schick had a great day. All of them really did. I mean, with Brady, I think the biggest thing is we talk about having hard days, not bad days. There's going to be tough days for, every person throughout their life, and today was a hard day. But, you get to learn from it, watch the film, and ultimately get better from it. But, I thought it was a good day overall for the quarterbacks. I think might have held the ball a little too long at times, get the ball out of your hands, whether that's checkdowns or throwing it away. Just making the available play more, I think, will be a good emphasis for us.
Carter, we didn't see you sign until later on after the bowl game. What went into your decision and ultimately to come back?
Yeah, there was a lot of thinking, just what's best for me, what's best for the team. But, I love it here. I want to stay here. So, yeah.
Carter, just as you gain experience playing a little bit, how much did your mentality change and just how you approach setting up rushes over the course of games?
Yeah, it changed a lot. I would say I was uncomfortable at first couple games, and as the season went on, I just learned to attack it more, and I felt a lot more comfortable pass rushing, in being able to do what I can do.
Drake, what impressed you the most about Hayden Moore here this spring?
Yeah, I've seen it since the get-go, but I think one of the most impressive moments from when I met him was the first day we were throwing. Obviously, he was a younger guy, so I wasn't really throwing with him, whatever. He came up to me, he's like, no, I want you throwing me the ball. And just right there, I knew you could kind of see the confidence, the swagger he has about himself, and just how good he is of a football player. He's really, really natural. And the steps he's taken within the offense, mentally, physically, emotionally, everything is at a really high level. And I think he's going to do great things for the fall.
Anthony, what have you learned about Naquan Crowder as he continues to make plays in that defensive tackle?
Yeah, he's a big guy that fills the gap, and then also he's a really athletic dude that can make plays. He moves really well laterally and and vertically. You know, that's our whole mantra is get vertical on our defense, cause havoc in the backfield, and like he's definitely showed that all through the spring. He's a great guy off the field too. It's always fun to chop it up with him. He always makes us laugh. He connects the locker room pretty well.
Yeah, I think
Great guy.
I'm sure you understand why they didn't play today, but was it kind of tough not playing and seeing everybody else having fun?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you put the pads on, you know, you go all spring ball, and then again, you put the pads on, you got the uniform, and you look all clean and stuff. You see all the guys go on the field, and it's like, dang, like, I want to be out there with the boys. But again, just doing the best that I can to help contribute, whether that's me seeing something on the line of the scrimmage that all guys on the field aren't seeing. So again, just having my leadership on and off the field. So again, it did suck not being able to be in there. So yeah.
Drake, what are the main coaching points from Harbaugh as you kind of go into the offseason?
Yeah, you know, I think attacking every single day right now is, you know, one day at a time, obviously, but not taking it as off time. You know, continuing to get better with the guys around me. You know, getting around my guys, whether that's on a trip or whatever it might be, and then continue to develop. I think the biggest thing is the standards that they have set for me. You know, sometimes I might not see. I might think I have a solid day, and in their mind it's not solid because the expectations are so high. So continuing to be super hard on myself as well as they're going to be hard on me, I think is awesome because it's going to push me to where I need to be and where this offense needs to be and ultimately where the team needs to be. So it's going to be fun.
And we've seen you do it at a high level. What's the next step? What are the next steps for you kind of for next season?
You know, just staying consistent in my game, but again, like the truest, I just want to help contribute with my team the best of my ability. If it helps the team win, that's what I gotta do. And again, I got the coaches around me, I got the teammates around me, and I have the staff around me to be successful. And again, it's really easy coming in this building every day to just get better. You know, again, with the people, the staff, the support staff is so fun coming in this building. And so again, just helping my team out the best that I can be, and whatever that is, I'll do it.
Any more for the guys?
Awesome.
Thank you guys.
Have a good day.
Have a good one.
Can I get taken on the trip? Can I get taken on the trip?